Hey interwebs, it's JackitK and welcome back to another edition of the Pokemon Go Fireside chat. As you can see, I decided to do this in post. And you can also see this is late. Yeah, I kinda not been in the best recording mood over the weekend. So that kind of made it a little hard to get this out on time. Recording on Monday evening when I would normally do a Saturday evening isn't too bad, I guess. But let's just get to the point so I can actually move on to other topics and all. I just want to breeze through some of these news articles real quick because we all know what the big thing that's happened lately. And I'm not going to practicate any more than I have. But I really got to talk about this at the least. Because it's something I've personally wanted out of the game for a long time. And we're actually seeing signs of it actually going somewhere. Those people over on the other podcasts, and especially the Charles, saying it would never happen. People saying we would never get Pokemon Go stop submissions. And lo and behold, September 12th, we got a Pokestop nomination beta announcement. For those who don't know, before Pokemon Go, Niantic had another game, and granted, it still got quite a bit of a player base now, called Ingress. It's laid out very similarly to Pokemon Go, though from a little bit I've played, I won't go into the details, but I do prefer Pokemon Go, and I do feel like there's a bit more involved to it, but I may have just missed something from the little bit I played. But I bring up Ingress because they have a submission system for the stop-like equivalent called portals, where once you reach a certain level, you can submit portals to Niantic, and they'll have the potential to put them in the game. And when you reach a certain other level, you can take people's nominations and vote on them. Essentially, first a player nominates a spot, then the rest of the player base votes and approves on it, then it goes to Niantic for final approval. And now we finally got a system very similar to that. It is a beta, and it's currently starting for people in Brazil and South Korea, so your fellow Americans will just have to wait for another day. They'll get their chance to shine another day. Chrome was able to get his chance to shine another day, so why can't I? I just gotta have faith. There's a reference to a game that has nothing to do with Pokemon. Well, depending on your definition. But I'm tangenting here. So, it's in those places, and it's initially limited to trainers at level 40, not including child accounts. So, if you sign up with Pokemon Trainer Club as a child, or the new Niantic Kid system, you won't be able to reach this even if you were somehow level 40 as well. And they actually have a whole in-depth review session of what qualifies as a stop and what does not. But I don't have that link handy, and we got a lot of other things to go over. So I'll just summarize. It's basic common sense. You can't submit your house, you can't submit an area that people can't walk to. It's supposed to be a location that's iconic, or a natural monument, or just a diamond in the rough when it comes to locations. Local restaurants, I suppose, would count. Or, like I've mentioned before, significant landmarks. When the system comes out in more places, I'll go into more detail then. But on the tangent of Korea, as I'm recording this, it's just got announced On to Pokemon Go just tweeted out that it went live, so I figure I'd talk about it here. Pokemon Go Week in Korea. The Pokemon Korea company will be hosting a Pokemon Fiesta from Friday, September 14th to Wednesday, September 26th. Oh, here's it. It is. And from Friday, September 21st to Sunday, September 23rd, even more surprises will arrive. Pokemon such as Feebas and Trapinch will be in the area for a special event. Plus, players in the multi-world mall will be able to find Pokemon not normally seen in Korea, such as the regional grass-flying type Tropius, and unknown because at this point, if you're going to have a special event, it's not a special event until you throw some unknowns into the party. So that's good for them. You don't really see too many of these location-specific areas. I guess the closest we got is the Safari Zone. That's over in Europe. And I guess the Americas at least get Pokemon Go Fest, and at least it was good this year. So, good for them. I think what most of us are really here for is the news in regards to the Ultra Reward. And it kind of stinks that my recordings got put on hold for as long as they did, because it feels like it already missed a few days. And even if I were to get this up as I recorded it, which I won't, it'll take me a day or two. I feel like you guys are going to miss out on some days to actually do this. So, we got told that the Ultra Reward system is here. The grand thing that we've been working for throughout the entire summer. All the research tasks from Europe's Safari Zone, Pokemon Go Fest, and the Japanese Safari Zone all come together for this grand Ultra Reward. And what did we get? Oh boy, what did we not get? Just let me pretend that I'm not pulling up sources on the fly to double check. Yay, I crashed the website. I mean, I'm totally doing this off the top of my head. And to prove it, I'll just go into do it now. Professor Will's Global Research Challenge had a few variety of things to go for. One, all the Pokemon spawns have basically turned into Kanto Pokemon. Uncommon Pokemon from the Kanto Pokedex have become common. Rare Kanto Pokemon basically become uncommon, and etc. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like Rattaz and Pidgeys have gotten more common. In fact, in my opinion, they've gotten a little less common. Though I will admit that's up in the air. The real exciting stuff gets to when we get to other things beyond that, though. Do I want to start with the raids or the hatches still? I guess I'll start with the raids, because that'll be relevant for a little less longer than the hatches. Anyways, all those legendary birds that you were doing your raid trades for, they're back! So if you missed out on Articuno raid day, or just felt you didn't get anything good from it, because that's a complete mess, because no one knew what they were doing, because it was the first time we had an event like that, or missed out on Zapdos or Moltres raid day, well, you're in luck. All 3 legendary birds are back in the raid rotation for level 5 raids, starting at September 13th, so like last Thursday, to September 20th, this Thursday. So, you basically got until Wednesday, and a little bit into Thursday as well, so I would recommend finishing things up on Wednesday. Hopefully, I get this out before then, but, that's last. The good news is, after, even if you miss out on Legendary Birds, you won't miss out on something even better. A Pokemon that is originally only exclusive to the whole EX-Ray system, yeah, that controversial system, is going to be coming to regular raids. So if you never got the chance to pick up your own Mewtwo, now's the chance to get that entry off your decks. If you want more Mewtwo's, then why wouldn't you? It's the strongest Pokemon in the game so far. Then you have your chance to get even more Mewtwo's. A whole month for Mewtwo's. Everyone gets a Mewtwo. You get a Mewtwo. You get a Mewtwo. All get Mewtwo's. Assuming you can raid. Fret not for people who are worried about their exclusivity. Even though Mewtwo will now be accessible to the public, to most people's relief, there are some things that are staying exclusively to Mewtwo's that you catch from EX raids. And that would include 2 of the moves that I can get, and 1 move that people actually care about. Shadow Ball, which pretty much made Mewtwo the strongest Pokemon in the game. Like, if we were to ignore all type advantages and just look at raw damage, a Mewtwo with Shadow Ball would do the most damage out of anything in the game. If you already teamed them away, Shadow Ball, because I don't blame you, why would you want a non-psychic move on the most powerful psychic type in the game? Fret not. If you have enough charge TMs, you can get it back until September 20th when Mewtwo comes to raids. Basically, before Mewtwo becomes a normal raid boss for that month, you can use TMs on any Mewtwo you have to get its legacy moves, either Shadow Ball or Hyper Beam if for whatever reason you actually want Hyper Beam on your Mewtwo. Maybe for novelty's sake in that. You can change that, but you have until September 20th, specifically when Mewtwo goes live into raids, to do so. And I suppose that there's a whole discussion that could be had with Mewtwo going into normal raids and exclusivity, and I'm gonna just stay out of it for now because I have some understanding on both sides, considering I was lucky enough to actually find an area eventually that consistently pumped out EX raids. But I'll admit, even though I had an area that consistently pumped up raids, passes for Mewtwo's and that, even I still had some struggles to actually make it to the raids. Did make it to maybe a handful, like I could probably count the Mewtwo's I have on one finger, or one hand. But that's a discussion for another time, because there's just so much to this ultra research. And I feel the whole exclusivity of EX raids and whether or not it's a fair system is a whole discussion that I just don't feel like I have the time for. Maybe another day. Last but not least is another surprisingly controversial thing about this Ultra Rewards. 7-kilometer eggs now have a purpose, even if you get all the low-end Pokemon. Exclusively for the period of the Kanto event, which I believe goes to the end of September. Same with the Kanto spawns, by the way. If you need to catch some Kanto Pokemon to complete your Pokedex, make sure you do it before the end of the month. Anyways, back to the low-end eggs. 7-kilometer eggs. For a limited period of time, of that time period I keep mentioning, you can get regional Pokemon out of eggs. The 4 Kanto Pokemon that were originally just exclusive to certain parts of the world. Tauros, exclusive to North America. I hear mixed things about it. I feel like they're exclusive to most of the Americas, at least North America. Some people say exclusive to the United States, some people say other things. But I do know you can catch them all the places and all everywhere in North America. Like specifically the United States, and I'm pretty sure that applies to the rest of North America. There's also Kangaskhan, which is exclusive to Australia. Mr. Mime, which is exclusive to Europe. And Firefetch, which is exclusive to Japan. Now, all these Pokemon technically have had an opportunity or two to get in other places, Kangaskhan was Pokemon they did for regionals, I guess, and Firefetch was a big thing in one of last year's summer's events. The grand reward for that was Firefetch everywhere for a certain period of time. And I'll be honest, maybe Mr. Mime hasn't come to North America yet. I can't recall anything in particular, but nevertheless, if you're like me and only got the Firefetch and your regional Tauros, or if you're not like me and didn't get any regional Pokemon because maybe you're new to the game, you're in luck. Sort of. They now hatch out eggs, but they are fairly rare. Niantic went through the trouble of saying on their Pokemon Go Twitter account when they announced the regionals were hatching out eggs that they were, quote, super rare. And the numbers that have been gathered by the web, I'll just say, to avoid accidentally giving credit to places where it's not due, I've broke it down, and those numbers are kinda disappointing, I guess. Overall, an egg has only a 12.5 chance that it'll be a regional, and a 75% chance that it'll still be an Alolan Pokemon, including some of the common ones that nobody wants out of their Alolan eggs anymore, like Alolan Meowth and Sandshrew. On the bright side, it's a little bit easier to get an Alolan Vulpix. You may be wondering, 75 plus 12.5, it's only 90. It is not 100%. It is 87.5. Mental math while talking is apparently hard. Well, you'd be right. There's actually two more Pokemon that are neither an Alolan or a regional that can hop out eggs during the period of this event. And that is Tangela and Porygon. A small percentage of you guys may be excited about that, until you find a Tangela or Porygon in the wild and you're wondering, why are they in eggs when I could just walk and find them? Apparently Niantic thought that you wanted them in your eggs, so we got them in the eggs. Here's an overall breakdown of each individual Pokemon or percentage, just so you have an idea how hard it might be to get what you want. Kangaskhan and Tauros both have a 4% chance of coming out of an egg. The 7-kilometer eggs, like the ones that you have to walk 7 kilometers, unless you use a super incubator, which costs money. Mr. Mime and Firefetch are both 25.25%. 7.5% of the time you'll get an Alolan Grimer. 11.25% you'll get an Alolan Vulpix. And at the same percentage, you could also get an Alolan Geodude. Alolan Sandshrew is 15%. Alolan Diglett and Meowth are also 15%. And you have a 6.25% chance of getting a Tangela or a Porygon out of the egg. Yep. That's the thing. Now, I'm honestly trying to be empathetic, sympathize, understand Niantic's thinking. Because normally, Tangela and a Porygon would be exciting things to get out of an egg in general. Though, because of the way they implemented it, I'm left with more questions than satisfaction personally. And I feel like a lot of other outlets I listen to feel very similarly. Though, if you feel excited to get a Tangela or Porygon out of that Alolan egg that you not only have to walk 7 kilometers, but also have to fiddle around, get gifts at just the right time, and not get gifts when you don't want them in order to avoid getting eggs when you don't want them. But if you do feel hyped for Tangela or Porygon, please let me know, because you're probably the only opinion that I know that thinks that way, and different opinions are very valuable to me when it comes to this stuff. Like, I want to know if you're excited for these Pokemon and why, in order to better myself and improve my understanding of the world. And like I said, normally these are pretty rare Pokemon that I would feel worth being excited about. I never really see Porygon and Tangela outside of raids and events. Oh, that's the thing. There's an event going on where they're spawning fairly decently in the wild. Like, I've actually seen several Chanseys during the period of this Kanto event, and that's a Pokemon I normally never see. And yet they decided to put them on eggs. Like, maybe it's to assure you get better IVs? Well, if that's the case, why not just put them into raids? And I feel like for every possible justification I can come up with, I can think of a counterpoint. Anyways, yeah, those regionals are what everyone's going to be looking out for, though. So, best of luck to you all trying to complete your Kanto Pokedex. If you're lucky enough to get any of these regionals through other means, good for you. That's one less roll of the dice you have to get. One less Pokemon you gotta worry about being completed. Like, I feel pretty lucky that I got Farfetch when it was available. And I guess I should be lucky too, because not every region's going to have a Tauros. My original thinking is that every region in the world is going to have one of these four, but there's specific places where you don't have a regional. Like, I think South America may not. Keep going back and forth if South America can get Tauros, and if not, they have to hunt for all four of these. I think there's parts of Africa that don't get any of these regionals. So, I guess my point is, count your blessings if you already got one of these regionals. That'll hopefully be one less set of eggs they have to worry about hatching. It also means another layer of disappointment if it does come out of an egg, but at least that's one less Pokemon overall you have to hunt for before you're done. I think that's enough for our current events still currently. But the other thing I like to do on Fireside Chat that I would like to do before closing things off is chat with you guys a bit about my week and all. And for those of you watching the video forms, I'll have a bit of extra content to share because I have not been good with editing the footage in advance. I actually missed a week, so there's actually a bunch of different things that I got to go over. First thing I want to talk about is a couple random raids that I did way before the Kanto event started. They were of an Alone Executor and a Tyranitar. The Tyranitar wasn't anything special, though I think I was able to kidnap it, so a lot of retard candy is always appreciated. But this Executor, baby, this Executor is a real sweet treat. It has perfect attack and perfect stamina, and overall is a 93%. Pardon me a sec while I just double check. Yeah, it's a 93%er with perfect attack and perfect stamina. And the thing is, I never caught a good Alone Executor back when it was just randomly roaming around in the wild. They were all trash. I even tried trading to get a good one. It was really high CP, but it was trash. This is the first Alone Executor raid that I was actually able to do, mostly because I haven't seen one before this. And it was this good right off the bat. Couldn't be happier about that. I also want to take a minute to shout out the fact that I'm starting to collect peanut berries. The fact that I was able to hatch 2 lone Vulpix within the same week. I happened to find, or hatch, a pretty good Mareep in the wild, and you may be saying, JackitK, nobody uses a Mareep, it's all about the Raikus. Why do you even bring it up? Because screw you, Mareep is cool. And Mareep evolves into Ampharos, which makes the greatest hero ever grace your screens. Someday you will be able to witness the glory of Ampharos. So, long story short, it's just a personal favorite. And the fact that this Community Day move didn't give it double electric made me feel no guilt in fully evolving it. I gotta double check, but I think it's even better than any of the Ampharos I got during Community Day, so I got myself a double Ampharos that I might be able to use in like non-legendary Pokemon challenges and that. Cause I'll be honest, that's the biggest use I can think of for it at the current time. Maybe you'll see it grace the screens on my YouTube channel sometime in the future. Oh yeah, just to clarify, the Mareep has perfect attack and perfect defense, and is in best percentile, hence being 98 I believe I said. That's why I'm really so hyped about it. And speaking of things only nerds care about, I reached level 40 in Pokemon Go. Jeez, it's really been this long since I've actually recorded, because I'm tempted to say not last Friday, but the Friday before. Sad thing that actually sounds right, because I don't think it was this weekend. Yeah, it was the previous weekend. Friday evening while I was doing my walk around the campus that's sort of along the way home, I hit level 40. And now I never have to worry about EXP again. But that's not going to stop me from kidnapping every Weedle and Pidgey I find, cause yeah, who knows, they'll bump up the level cap eventually someday, and hopefully the experience carries over. So I'm just not gonna do mass evols, though I was on the fence of not doing mass evols before, cause it's gonna be more trouble than I like to admit, and just caring less about the EXP grind in general. Be nice to actually be able to explore other avenues for this game. One of them that I want to get into is shiny hunting. Find good Pokemon Gold nests and just play and see if I can find anything good while catching the nest Pokemon. But that is something I want to stream someday. Only problem is I don't exactly have to set up ready for live streaming Pokemon Go when I'm actually out playing it. So I'm working on those avenues. It's something I want to do because I'm out there playing the game anyways, so if I can stream while doing it, that might actually be fun. Starting to understand the appeal people have towards shiny hunting in the main games, and I've had spurts of interest in listening to people do Wi-Fi battles in general, so that's two things that I kind of want to do with Pokemon Go, because for some reason, just the mechanics, mostly the walking exploration, the world sort of things, Pokemon Go I find more appealing than the main games, so why not just take those elements that allow for community building into an avenue that I enjoy. But I'll be sure to keep you all updated on that as I narrow down a plan for it. With all that out of the way, I think we're finally time to talk about the Kanto event. So, my luck is kind of blah on it. First time I went out raiding on the Friday, I was lucky enough to actually find 2 Moltres raids and a Zapdos raid. No, actually I think it was the other way around. It was 2 Zapdos raids and a Moltres raid. But you may notice that there's a bird missing from that, and we'll get to that. That was when I first discovered that the legendary birds actually keep their special moves from raid days. Oh, I forgot to talk about that in the news. Yeah, if you catch a Moltres, Zapdos, or Articuno during the periods that they're out in raids, not only do Moltres and Zapdos have the moves that they were exclusive to the raid days, Articuno has the move Hurricane, which I believe was part of a event for a region that missed out on the raid days because of planning on Niantic's behalf. They basically combined Zapdos and Articuno raid days into one, and even gave Articuno a new move. It's not that exclusive anymore though, because like the other special moves, it's out in these normal raids right now. But I thought that's kind of cool that they brought all the moves there. I'll be honest, I was big thing that was keeping me hunting for Moltres, even though I just did a Moltres raid day, was to try to get a good one that didn't have Sky Attack. I'm sure I can get enough TMs that just TM away Sky Attack to the point where I have one good one with the Sky Attack for its charge move and one that has the fire move for its charge move. I'm just saying I have room for both. I'll eventually get the TMs needed to do so. And that's basically my raid luck for the rest of the weekend. I went out walking Saturday, did not find a single legendary raid to do, and didn't do any of the normal raids around because I thought I'd just save my passes for Sunday. Sunday, I don't even want to get into Sunday yet. Sunday, we'll come back to raiding on Sunday. In the meantime, let's go into happy thoughts. Essentially, I did a bunch of hatching while I was doing those raids, and guess what my first Alone Egg hatch for the Kanto event was? It was a Tauros. Yes, I hatched my regional Pokemon on the first egg. The one that pretty much spawns 3 to 10 a day. Yeah. That was some rotten luck on my behalf. But shortly after, I got myself a Mr. Mime, got that entry off the decks, got an Alolan Pokemon, and a Tauros. Yeah, at least I got one of the 2 regionals I was looking for out of the way. Do I have to talk about Sunday? Can I think of something else to talk about? Oh yeah, Saturday hatching. I hatched some more Pokemon from the eggs on Saturday, and got a Kangaskhan from the first set of my eggs on Saturday. So I was thinking, oh boy, I got myself a Kangaskhan. I bet all these other eggs that are about to hatch at the same exact time are going to be good as well. And meow. Not an Alolan egg, so it doesn't count, but Togepi. All Pokemon, 3/4 of them being the ones that nobody wants to see come out of their eggs. Yeah, I just had to hype myself up. Looks like I finally caught up to Sunday. Oh, Sunday. I spent most of Sunday home because it was blazing heat. Tried to do streams, but I'm not going to get into that stuff because Sunday was just a miserable experience that I still get salty about thinking about. I did actually go out to try to play Pokemon Go, like right around the hometowns and that. There was an Alakazam raid, and it's like, I don't need any more Alakazams. I got Mewtwo's. I have a Gardevoir. I even have Espeons if I need them. I guess Alakazam is technically better than Espeon, but point stands, I don't need an Alakazam, but it's like, it's the only raid that's shown up anywhere close to home when I didn't feel like going further than home that day, so I'm like, I might as well use this free raid pass and not waste it. Well, I used the free raid pass. But I wasted it. Cause the gym would not frickin' load. I tried to go into it 3 times. And the game either crashed or I got booted out and thrown into a frozen screen. Each of those times. To the point where I got booted out and the raid was just gone. I mean, I did come there with 15 minutes and I knew about it far in advance, but I'm like, 15 minutes is plenty of time to go in and do a raid, and it would have been plenty of time if the game functioned properly. Okay, salt aside. Monday, and we get to today of Monday, where my first day of work for the week goes by, and work goes alright, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have yet to find out an Articuno! The one Pokemon of the 3 that I did not actually have the shiny for, do not have a special move for. Those raids are going to go away in the middle of the work week if I don't take some time after work to go and find raids. So I did, and I drove to the campus. Only realized that there was construction being done on the path to the campus. And it took me half an hour to get there. And when I got there, lo and behold, the Lord loves my salt. Because I pull in and park, there's 9 gyms and not a single egg, not a single raid of 1 to 5 in any of those spots. And like to make a liar out of me, a raid pops up right as I'm about to record my salt. But at least it was a level 5 raid. And at least I went over and did it. And at least it was an Articuno. And I caught it. So I at least caught one of each bird. Shame it wasn't the shiny when I spent so much frustration on Articuno Day. Just trying to do Articunos. I didn't even care about the shinies anymore that day, but I know better than to expect the first raid I do to be a shiny. It's not high odds. I just wish I could have done more Articuno raids so I have more chances to try to get one. But I don't think I'm going to be going out until Friday at the very least, because I can't afford to spend my precious time on work days trying to find raids that don't exist and being salty about it. Especially when there's road work blocking the way to the gyms. And by Friday, they'll be all gone. They'll be replaced with Mewtwo's, and I will be in the odd boat of actually wishing that they were still the legendary birds, because I still don't have my shiny, but I do have a Mewtwo. And I won't be able to complain about it, because it's first world problems, even in the stance of Pokemon Go. Because there's way more people who don't have a Mewtwo than people who have. Actually, that would be interesting numbers to see. If there's more people who have a shiny Articuno than a Mewtwo. I guess I could trade for that shiny Articuno if I really wanted. Well, at this rate, I'll just have to see if anyone in my local community still has a spare shiny Articuno to trade, or if they just used all their shiny Articunos to spare for trade fodder already. Even so, it's like 80,000 dust if I'm ultra friends with someone, 1 million if I'm not. But I have enough people that I build up friendship with in my local communities that hopefully someone has that shiny Articuno. And if not, I just don't get a shiny Articuno. Sure, there'll be more chances to raid for one in the future. I'm just salty, because sometimes I get tired of the game dictating my life when I want to the game to revolve around my life, like not just all self-centered, but I just wish we had more control over activities because everyone has lives. But that brings me to ranting topics on raids and the way this game works and that I just don't feel like getting into today. Oh, that's been my week. Lots of good, lots of bad, playing Assault. And it's past 10. Sounds like a good point to wrap things up in. Got about a 40-minute episode. Basically the length, especially after I cut things down, the length of last week's live stream, which is a bit disappointing because that was just rushing out details for that stream as well, but I was kind of rushing through news, like not diving into personal opinions on news topics, just covering the stories as well, but it's life, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting on this any longer than I already have. So, thank you all for watching. If you want to see instead of just hear, be sure to check out my YouTube where I upload video recordings of this. If you want early access, I encourage you to check out my audio releases. Because unless I'm streaming, this week in particular, the audio is going to be done before the video, so I'll probably just upload the audio like tonight or tomorrow morning. But overall, I encourage you to check me out either on social media or my website to get up to details on uploads and changes to the schedule and why it's not out once I have it scheduled to be. All that will be at those places. Twitter is JackitK Stuff, spelled the same way as my name of JackitK. Just take that K and put some stuff into it instead. Site, I don't have the URL memorized, but I'll include it in the descriptions of either the video if you're watching it there, or the SoundCloud if you're listening it to there. It'll be somewhere. If you want to see other Pokemon Go content I do, I encourage you to check out my YouTube. You should be able to find it by searching JackitK, the full URL. Just search JackitK. The URL is a bit old, so it's not reflective of my name. And I got other medias to plug, but none of them relevant to what I'm doing here. If you go to my site though, you should be able to just look through my content in a fairly organized manner and just pick out what you want to follow from there. Thank you all for listening, thanks for watching, and sorry again for the delays. But I appreciate anyone that decided to stick around or tune in. And I'll see you again soon. Thinking more about it, I think I'm gonna continue to play around with the schedule for this. I already decided I'm gonna do the live streams once a month instead of once a week. But I'm thinking that I'm gonna go every other week in general. So, let's see here. There won't be a podcast or video of Fireside Chat next week, but the following week I'll live stream it on my Twitch, which is just JackitK on Twitch. So that stream will happen on Saturday, October 6th. And everything will be uploaded from the stream, audio, video, on October 8th. Then there won't be anything for that week of October 7th to October 13th. But on October 15th, I'll do a non-live recording and upload the audio and video on that date. And then we'll probably skip. October may not have been the best month to do this on, because I just realized that October technically actually has 5 weeks, so that kind of throws off my plan of doing one stream a month and one recording a month, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on social media. I'm kind of still experimenting with adding new content to what I do online and where it best fits on my schedule. I do work full time. I use that excuse pretty much every time I'm unorganized or have to delay something, but the fact that this is not my job does help unincentivize me to be consistent, I suppose. Point being, just keep up to date with me and I'll keep you up to date of what I'm doing. And I appreciate y'all for putting up with me. So I'll see you in a couple weeks for the next edition of this. And until then, happy hunting.